Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Yotabyte. Today we are going to see the next tutorial in R that is about matrices and how to define a function. So with no further delay, let us get into the topics. So first let me give my reference section tutorial 3 and the date, today's date I can give 11/5/2020. And before getting into the new topic, in logical expressions, we have still three more functions to get introduced. The first one is union. Okay, union, intersection, and set difference. Okay, first let's see how to use a union function. So let me define a vector A, C of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, then B, C of 5, 4, 6, 7, 9. Okay. Then in order to union both A and B, R has a function called union of A, B. So I'll just store it in some alphabet. So this G is an object. So now we have A as an object, B is an object, and G is an object. And this one is called as a vector. And this less than symbol and the minus operator both together is called as assignment operator. So we are assigning this vector to an object A, this vector to an object B, and this result to an object G. Now let us run this code. So now when you print G, we have the united values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 9. What about intersection? We have the function intersect of A, B. Okay. Now when you run this and print this H, we have the common numbers as our result. So the common numbers in A and B is 4 and 5. So that is displayed here. And what about set difference? So just think what this function will do so that you will able to get the result very quickly. So A, B. Okay, so let me store it in J. Okay, now run this print of J. Can you able to see what the result we have got? So now I'll do one more thing. Let me go for the new line. K set difference of B, A. Run this, then print K. Can you able to understand what have happened here? So here set difference of A, B, what this function has done is the common numbers that are available in A and B are neglected and the remaining numbers in A are displayed. So that is what this function defines. Whereas in the next K object B, A. So here also the common numbers are neglected but the remaining numbers in B are displayed here. Okay. So this is what the set difference does. So the first A, B gives the remaining numbers in A excluding the common numbers, and the second one the remaining numbers in B excluding the common numbers. Okay. Okay. Next we'll have a topic selecting the vector elements. Okay. So how to select vector elements? Let me give some object example Fibonacci, like fib we can give, or some other name also you can give. Let me create a vector 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So this is the vector I have created. Now I just want to select the second element in the vector. Okay, how can I define? Fib of, you must use the square braces in order to get a particular element. Okay, fib of 2. Let us see what does the result gives. Sorry, I didn't run this line. So run this line and give this. So fib of 2 is the second element. It means the second element in an object fib. So this line defines like the second element in the object fib. So now let me give fib of 5. Fib of 5 is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The fifth element is 4. That is what is displayed here. Okay. So if you want a series of number from the given vector, what you can do? Fib of, I want from third number till 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Third number till sixth number. It will get displayed. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. If I want first 3 numbers or 4 numbers, the first 4 numbers will get displayed. So this is about deriving a particular element, that is single element, and this is about deriving a sequence of elements from the given vector. Okay. Next, if you want to select elements anywhere within the data vector, okay. So if I want some particular elements like second element, fourth element and sixth element, because I cannot give it in this way, since this should be derived from a vector and this is not sequence of number. If this is a sequence of continuous number, you can give column. Okay, you can give column. But here we can't give like this. I have skipped one number in between. So the correct way of writing this is fib of C of. That is nothing but the vector. So from the vector, I want these elements. So now when you run this code, your code will get displayed. So second element is 1, fourth element is 3, and the sixth element is 5. Okay. So this is all about selecting the vector elements. Okay. And if you want the, if you want to ignore the first element and you want to display the remaining elements, what you can do? Fib of -1. You don't want the first element and you want to display the other elements. Now when you run, see the first element is removed and the remaining elements are displayed. Okay. If you want to remove the first 3 numbers, what should you do? Same way, fib of minus should be preceded 1:3. So when you run this, first 3 elements are excluded and the remaining 4 elements are displayed. Okay. So we can use this for logical vectors also. So let me give fib is less than 10. Okay. Fib is less than 10. Run this code. Okay. What it will do is it will check each and every element in this vector whether it is less than 10 or not. And it will give the result in logical form, that is either true or false. Okay. So let me give fib of fib less than 10. Now what does this give? It will display all the numbers that is less than 10. Now if I change here less than 5, what happens? Let's see. So it will display the numbers that are lesser than 5. Okay. So next condition, let me give 2. Fib of %2, which is equal to 0. Okay. So what does this return? Can you able to guess what does this function returns? Now when I run this code, you will get 0, 2, 4, 6. It means the number that are divisible by 2 and the remainder is 0 are getting displayed here. Okay. So 2 by 2 is 0. 3 by 2 you will not get any remainder. Sorry, you will get a remainder. 4 by 2 you will not get any remainder. 5 by 2 you will get remainder. 6 by 2 you will not get any. So those elements are alone displayed here. Okay, so these are all about selecting the vector element and how to use the square brackets and how to define an element if that element is present in the particular vector. Okay, so next is how to define a name for an element. Okay, so let me give the topic: defining name for an element. So in class, if you have some ID numbers, so that ID numbers is given to students. Okay, so when they are called for presence or absence, that ID number will be called. So ID C of 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me create some 4 IDs. Run this code. The names of this ID. Okay, names of this ID. Let me give as John. So always strings should be within quotes. So John, Stephen, Lori, and Raj. Okay, run this. Now if I want to see the name of or the ID of particular name, let me give ID of John. Now when you run this code, you will get it as 1. Okay, the ID of John is 1. Now let me check with other name. ID of Raja. So if you forget to give this string, then you will get error. So see what error you will get. See, object Raja not found, because these are defined in double quotes in the vector. So the same way you have to give. Okay, so this is how you can derive name for an element. Now if you want 2 or more elements, how you can give? Same way, ID of C of John. The other one is let us say Lori. Okay, now when you run this, you will get John ID is 1 and the Lori's ID is 3. So this is how you can get more than 2 IDs or more than 1 IDs. Okay, you can also get more than 2 IDs also. Okay, now coming to the other topic, matrix. So you would all have studied about matrix. So let us define a matrix. X array of 1 is to 24, comma, dimensions we have to give, dimension is equal to C of 3, comma 4, comma 2. So what does this mean is 3 is the row size, 4 is the column size, and 2 is the matrices, number of matrices. Okay, so let me run this code. Then if I print X and C, here you can clearly see the values. Okay, let me enlarge this. So here you can clearly see I have defined the number from 1 to 24, and here 3 represents the row size and 4 represents the column size and 2 is the number of matrices. Since I have given 1 to 24 numbers, definitely, and I have defined my row and column, so definitely I must have 2 matrices, otherwise dimensions will get wrong. Okay, so 4 columns and 3 rows, I'll get only till 12th number. So if you want till 24th number, I just need one more column. So that I have defined here. Okay, this is how you have to define a matrix. Okay, so now J is an array that is having vector of 1 is to 3. Okay, comma 3 is to 1. And you have to define the dimension again here. Dimension which is equal to C of 4 comma 5. So now run this code. Now when you print J, either you can give print J or you can give only J, that will get printed. See here. So what had happened is 1 is to 3. Again the number has repeated from 3 to 1. Again 1 is to 3, 3 to 1 till 4 comma 5. It means 4 rows and 5 columns. Okay. Now you got it. Now you want to extract element from J. X of J is, these are the elements that are present in J. Now let's see how to define a function. So defining a function. Okay. Let me create CV an object and we'll create function of x sd of x divided by mean of x. So now the function is created, and the next thing is CV of 1 is to 10. So what does this mean is, first line creates the function and assigned it to CV. The second line invokes the function using the numbers 1 to 10 for the value of parameter x. Okay, so x will have the values from 1 to 10 and the function is executed and we finally got the result. So this is how you have to create a function. You can create a function and keep it, and wherever you want you can use it also. Okay, so next we'll see what are the common mistakes we do till whatever we have learned now. Okay, so let's see the first one. X is pi. Okay, I have given x is pi. What happens is x space minus pi. This is false because here you have given a space which is considered as a false statement in R. Okay, the next is v is equal to 0. Okay, v is equal to 0. Here we got an error that object v is not found because this equal to symbol is called as a comparing symbol. It means we have already defined the value of b and we are comparing it whether it is equal to 0. Can you get my point? If I give v is equal to 6 and then if I run this code, the value will be false because I have defined v is equal to 6 and comparing it whether the value of v is 0. So now the value is false. Without defining v is equal to 6, if I run this code, because already I have defined, I have to delete it here. Let me give some other alphabet. B is equal to 000. B also have already defined. Let me give some L. Okay, so object L not found. Okay, so this is what the common mistake we do. Next mistake what we do is, let us give n tends to 5. Here it is. So n object we have given the value of 5. Now run this and give 1 is to n plus 1. Okay, have you seen the values? Now what I'll do is I'll do a small change, n plus 1. Now can you able to see? So I have defined n is equal to 5. 1 is to n plus 1 is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. When I give braces, what it does is the values, it is adding the values. So 1 is to 1 plus 1, 2. 1 is to 1 plus 1. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Next 3 plus 1 is 4. Likewise it is adding. Whereas here it does is 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So small braces can also change the entire result. So we must be very careful. Okay, so these are the common mistakes we do. So if we notice all this, and we can avoid this. And the next thing that we are going to say is installing the package. Okay, so how to install the package in R? So here we can see packages. So there you can give install and a window will get popped up. Here you can type whatever the packages you want, you can type and you can install. Sorry, RPart you can type. So since it is in caps, it's not coming. Otherwise, suggestion will come here. Okay, if we want random forest, see all these three packages are here so that you can install whatever package you want. Okay, what we do is after installing the package, first either you can go here and install the package, or you can give command like install dot packages. Install dot packages. In that you can give the package name rpart. Then you can run this. Okay, the package will get installed. The main thing that we forget to do is after installing the package, we forget to load the package. If we load only, we can use all the functions that are available in that particular package. Otherwise, we couldn't able to load all the, okay, we couldn't able to use all the functions that are available in that package. Okay, so library of rpart. So now if you give this, all the functions that are available in rpart can be used by us. Unless until you use this library function, you could not able to use the functions that are available inside a particular package. Either you can use library rpart, or you can give like require of rpart. Both does the same function. Okay, now next, how to set the directory. Setting and working in the directory. How to set the directory. And one more thing you can add here, how to get the directory. Getting the directory. So now I just wanted to know in which directory I am working. Okay, I can give function get wd. Okay, enter. So this is the directory I am working now. Now I don't want to save all my R scripts or all my results in this directory. So I want to set my own directory. So I have to give the command set wd. So if you give set wd, then you can give inside the braces wherever disk you want to store. So in users, some documents I have stored. So in C disk, if you want to store, or in D drive you want to store, or in F drive you want to store, that should be defined over here. So this is how you have to set and get the directory. Okay. Now, how will you see the history of all the comments, whatever you have used? Getting the history. So how will you get? If you give history of 100, it will give the first 100 history whatever you have used, first 100 lines of history. Okay, this function is provided by R. So if you give history of 100, it gives all the first 100 lines of history that you have used. Now when you define only history, it will display all the histories, not only the first 100 lines. It will give all the histories whatever you have used without using this deleting command. Okay, so you can view all the histories. If you want to search or display the search path, what command can be used? Let us have search. Okay, searching or displaying the search path. Now if you give search, so what does it shows? search path, whatever all I have used till now, it will give the path. So first I have used this, then this, then this, then this. Likewise, it will show all the search paths. Okay. Accessing built-in dataset. How to access the built-in dataset? So first, if you want to view the installed packages, then you can use the command installed dot packages. So this command can be used. Okay, now if you enter, so these are the packages that are installed. Okay, if you want to use some previously built-in dataset, so as of now I know some dataset called pressure. So what does it means is, this is the dataset name, pressure is the dataset name, and head returns the first 5 values, 5 or 6 values, okay, of that dataset. Okay, head in the sense the head part, that is the first values, first 5 to 6 values of the head part will get displayed over here. Okay, so I think I can wind up the session over here, and in next class we'll see some other interesting topics, and just have a look at all the functions whatever we have used, because these are the basic functions that will get used when we are going for bigger concepts like machine learning, artificial intelligence, those techniques and all. We'll be using all these simple functions and commands. So please try this at your screen, and if you have any doubts, please feel free to ask in the comment section. And hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new in this video. Thank you.